Okay, Oval fans. I never thought I would say this, but I believe we just got the best episode of the series. And to be honest, on the one hand, was it exciting to see so many of these, evil people get their comeuppance? Absolutely. However, is it really over? Because if you watch the entire episode, Richard embodied my reaction to everything. Because we've seen time and time again the Franklin administration wiggle out of any and all obstacles they find themselves, or pitfall traps they find themselves in. Typically due to the people, whether it be Priscilla or Alan or Lily or insert person's name here. You have all these seasons where they build up, oh, we got this, group of people with this incriminating evidence. And they need to give it to the right people, and that will expose the administration, and then that'll be the end of that. But no, one or more people who have been on brand the entire season, like, hey, we got this plan. We need to stay in our places. And by the end of the season, we'll be good to go. But one person does something completely irrational based off of emotion when they've been logical for the previous 21 episodes of the season. And then it all goes to crap. And then they got to start over by the next season. I am giving this episode a 9 out of 10. Now, don't get me wrong. You're probably like, Jeremy, this was like a 10 out of 10 episode. What are you talking about? I am saying this from the perspective of I docked 1 point for a number of reasons. If I docked off a point for every reason, it would probably be like a 7, but I don't want to give it that low of a score. If I am not mistaken, there is still one more season of the show left. Because if I did not know another season was already pre-filmed, I'd be like, well, dang. For them to kind of quote-unquote close up shop in episode 16, this means we have episodes 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 6 whole episodes to wrap things up. And there would no doubt be some sort of epilogue where we time skip or something. But no, I just think with 6 episodes left plus another season, this is not over. This is just the beginning. And it is a shame that it would take 6.5 seasons, or over 6.5 seasons, to finally get to this point where I can say we just had a fantastic episode. A number of questions were answered. New questions were formed. Like, how long was this person in on it? But I will say, if you have not watched The Oval in a long time, which I know there are plenty of people that fall into that category. If you're like, man, Jeremy, I quit around season 3, or I stopped watching halfway through season 2, and I only watch your reviews, I would highly recommend season 6, episode 16, Ironclad. I'm pretty sure you can watch it on the internet. I'm not telling you where, but you can find it on the internet. But if you don't want to watch it now, just wait till they upload the back half of season 6 to BET Plus. But that probably won't happen until like late spring of 2026. So just find it online. You'll find it. But yeah, the best way to sum up this episode is like everybody goes down. that's honestly it, because I got a page full of notes here, but I can sum up this episode in just a few minutes. But before going forward, please take a moment to hit like and subscribe. Follow me on social media. Links are in the description below. Hit that notification bell and select all. That way you don't miss out whenever I post content on the channel. And yeah, let's dive in. So real quick, Sharon and Dale show up at Alan's apartment. You know, Alan's still shaken up from what happened several hours ago. And he wants to know, wait, who's this? So Dale, oh, she's just a friend. She's cool. Don't worry about it. And Alan has to go to work. And he says, fine, you two can stay, but just don't tell her anything about me. And he makes an analogy about, hey, remember that one time you told me about how you went into a pool and broke your ankle? Yeah. Don't try to do something that you're not accustomed to, because Alan is assuming that Dale and Sharon are a thing, like Dale is doing out is trying to do something outside of his normal dating life, so to speak. But obviously we know they're there to count the money. So as they're counting out the cash, Sharon's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure there's more than 400K here. And then that's when Dale is like, so what are we going to do with the extra money? Dale, we don't know where this money came from. Well, I mean, sure, you pay off the guy and then hey, you know what? Fine, let's count this 400K. Then we'll discuss what happens after that. So then from there, Alan pops back in and freaks out seeing the money. Like, yo, what's going on? She's a stripper. Yeah, what kind of stripper makes this kind of money? And it turns out his car is gone. Obviously, Donald probably had Kyle or whoever take the car because, even though the street camera footage and whatnot was scrubbed, the car still has that junkie's DNA on it, meaning that taking the car was probably a way to hold leverage over Alan. But Dale's like, how about this? Sharon, you stay here, lock the door. I will take Alan to work. I'll just come and drop him off. So I'll come right back. So after they leave, I'll just skip to the end of the episode real quick. Sharon is still there counting the money where the hooded dude breaks in and then they get into a fight. And that's pretty much their storyline for the episode. Now, everything else takes place in the White House. So for one, the shootout continues and Jason gets detained. Hunter and Priscilla get detained. Then Agent Isaac is brought up and placed on the floor with him. And one of the guards gets a call and Priscilla is let go because he's on their side. And that's when Hunter threatens all these guys. Like, you know what? I'm going to have your names and numbers. You're going to be done as soon as I get out of this. I'm the president. Not anymore, sir. So downstairs, that's when we have like Max and Sam. Basically the whole peanut gallery. Like, what's going on? What's happening? And then Eli comes down. This is an episode where Eli is in full effect. He got the bass in his voice. It seems that perhaps everything we've seen from him up until this point has been an act. So that whole deer in the headlights nervous thing was an act. At least that appears to be the case. So if you are looking for an Eli unlike anything we have ever seen before, this is the episode for you. So Max and Sam go upstairs because Eli thinks everything. Well, I mean, at this point, he has no reason to think his plan isn't foiled because, he wants to go upstairs. But, Bobby and Max try to warn him not to because they need to make sure it's all clear. So Bobby stays downstairs. Max and Sam go up. Then they come back down with some of the guards who have Hunter and Jason detained. Now, from there, Eli chews out, Hunter, Victoria, and Donald, who are all, going in on him because Victoria's drug plan was a bust, and Donald was like, this woman here, because he told her not to do it. And Eli's like, well, I decided to do things my way. And from there, Hunter and him exchange words, and he's taken to the bunker. And get used to that word because Eli says bunker at least 25 times in this episode. So from there, Jason is detained still and taken to the Oval with Alonzo so they can talk. And from there, Victoria, goes in on Eli for going against the script, but she threatens to call her father about this, and she gets sent to the bunker too. All the while, Priscilla is smirking because, she's waited so long for this to happen. And that's when she exposes the affair to Simone, about these two sleeping together. That feels like such a moot point at this, juncture in the series. Like, didn't she already know, hence why she got with Bobby? Whatever. Simone was and I love me some Kay Singleton, but Simone was like, I'll get to that later. So yeah, we got the Franklin family sent to the bunker, and Gail is neither seen or mentioned. Now, from there, Eli's like, everybody, let's go to the Oval to talk things out. And Kyle gets disarmed. Lily pops up looking fine as I don't know what. And that's when it turns out we learn Lily was part of this grand plan. Yeah. She was in on this the entire time. Lily has been in on this. And I'm like, you have got to be What? All right. So from there, Donald and Kyle are sent to the bunker because Donald can't believe what's happening because he thinks, sir, can we speak in private? Because earlier Hunter's like, whose side are you on? Yours, sir, aka Eli. But Eli says, oh, we'll let the DOJ handle you. And he gets taken down. If I'm not mistaken, the DOJ is the Department of Justice. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. So oh man, this was crazy. And that's when Eli gives Jason a chance to come clean. Now, you could assist us by testifying against your parents. And we can talk about the stuff you did. And Jason is in denial. And for the first time in seasons, I'm like, you get him, Priscilla, because she lashes out at him for killing Gene. But he denies it. And Eli's like, son, we have the footage. You could just help us out, or we'll send you to the bunker. But if you send me to the bunker, my parents will kill me. Again, help us out, or I'm not going to do anything. Okay, to the bunker it is. And that's when he's like, well, you know what? They're going to kill me down there, and then my blood will be on your hands. Ah, shut up, you little psycho. Send him to the bunker. So that's when Alonzo and then Sam both go down there with him. All right. After that, I believe the only ones left in the Oval are Eli, Alan, Priscilla, Lily, Simone. And Alan, he's next. And it turns out he has a clean record, so he's made interim chief of staff. Really? I mean, honestly, after everything he's been through, from his girlfriend being killed right in front of him to being Donald and Kyle's lapdog, hey, this is a win. However, I'm still concerned about the whole junkie situation because I'm like, that's leverage that could be used against him, but who knows? Now, that's when he goes to, get to work. And Simone is like, wait, are you sure about this? Like, isn't he a bit young and inexperienced? But this is the point of the episode where it turns into the final, 90 seconds of an episode of Scooby-Doo, where pretty much it's like, wait, so how did you figure it out? And then Vilma breaks down, hey, here's how we figured out so-and-so was behind the crime. And then Fred jumps in. It's essentially like everybody tells their story of, hey, here's the part I played in figuring out this is who did the crime. And this is how we set the trap. That that end of the episode was like, if you're a Scooby-Doo fan, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The breakdown. That's essentially what the rest of this episode was. Now, Simone is just like, what? This doesn't make any sense. What is it? What? So, Lily and Simone leave so they can, let Priscilla and Eli talk. And Simone feels like, wait, so what's going on? Why do you two need to talk together? Just insinuating that she believes there's an affair going on between them. Now, Priscilla and Eli are just elated by everything being over. And from there, they discuss the affairs, like, Simone sleeping with Bobby. But then the whole thing was like, well, you slept with Victoria. That was just business. And we did it. So Constant Waters, a.k.a. Crystal Stewart, is referenced. And she's going to be coming in soon for the PR cleanup, for all the ruckus that occurred earlier in the day. And out of nowhere, Eli's like, you want to F? What? And Priscilla's like, what, sir? No, absolutely not. Well, I mean, come on. You all these months of working together, you haven't felt anything? Sir. Well, I mean, come on. What about Bobby? It's like, well, maybe I did, maybe I didn't. This is the part of the episode I didn't care for. It's like the whole Priscilla acting like she may or may not have slept with Bobby, and then we'll get to Simone in a moment. So that's when Priscilla does say, well, you do need to be concerned because Simone does have that footage of the sex video between you and Victoria. No, she doesn't. Go talk to your wife, sir. Well, I mean, it was all business. Come on now. Now, that's when Priscilla goes out into the hallway and meets up with Richard, and he doesn't know what the heck is going on, so she breaks it down. And as I mentioned earlier, she's all excited, and it's like, hey, Richard, you get some of the staff, go upstairs and clean up everything nice and pretty and just, tell them to remain discreet. It's their job. And it's over. And Richard, as I mentioned before, is exactly like me. Are you sure about this, Priscilla? This just seems way too easy. Look, stop killing the mood. And Richard has the right attitude. And then that's when Nancy calls and Richard's like, nope, I don't want it. Nope, I'm out of here. So Nancy, is like, you don't know how they treat me in here. And look, there's a lot of stuff going on right now that I can't tell you over the phone. So I will be there later today with a lawyer, okay? Okay, I seen Richard. He's working. He ain't really talking about nothing. And that's really all there is to say about this. And the final scene to talk about is like in the kitchen washroom, if you will, or supply room, where Lily and Simone talk. And that's when Simone learns that Lily, Priscilla, and Eli have all been working together to get incriminating evidence against the Franklin administration to bring him down. Simone, was like, well, I was working on the case too, which honestly I had forgotten about because it has been such a long time. Wasn't it like season 4? It's been a long time, but I remember those 2 agents from Ruthless were part of her team. But as I said, it has been a long time since I even thought about that. So whatever. But that's when Lily says, you were being vetted. What? Well, see, when you decided to sleep with Bobby because Eli had slept with Victoria, that's when we felt we couldn't trust you. So you were left out of the loop. But I didn't sleep with Bobby. And Lily's like, we are grown. You don't have to lie. And she keeps on denying. It's like, Simone, fess up before you can get your tail sent to the bunker too. So that's when she does say, look, Eli, the whole flirting and having the affair, it was all part of the plan. He never liked her. She never liked him. You need to talk to Eli. So then, Priscilla comes in, and that's when Lily breaks down. Look, she's all flustered about everything. And Priscilla, yet again, reiterates the entire thing. So that's pretty much it. Simone leaves to go talk to her husband, and that's when Priscilla and Lily gloat due to the fact that patience will get us there. That was the motto. Now, I feel like that was a wink and a nod to the audience. People like me and people like you who have stuck with this show every single episode, whether we want it to or not. This was apparently our reward, but I do not feel like this is the final nail in the coffin because I gotta admit, despite waiting over 6.5 seasons, I have been tricked into believing Hunter and his crew will be taken down. That it does feel like this was too easy. And like Richard, I'm skeptical. You can be a Priscilla and say, Jeremy, you're ruining the moment. This was a great episode. But I know better. I do. So that's when they mention, Constance coming to clean things up soon. Because currently, we got some, we're spinning the media in our favor right now. And it turns out Lily... Oh, yeah, that's right. Priscilla's like, girl, where that champagne at? Oh, girl, come on now. I don't drink. So apparently all those episodes or all those times where we saw Lily acting tipsy, she was literally acting because she doesn't drink. Hey, something me and her share in common. I mean, obviously, the only time I play drunk is when I'm imitating characters. But, so you mean to tell me all these episodes where I'm like, why is Lily here? She served a purpose. Now, again, I feel like, holy crap, this should be great. But I'm still indifferent about it. And that's pretty much the episode. So, like I said, I would recommend watching this episode. But I have no doubt in my mind it's going to hit the fan before we get to the end of the season. Because there is no way they just clean things up this easily. But for what this episode was, it was pretty dang good. Alright, so like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next episode.